Hello guys, I continue my weekly tradition of at least one video about Livewire on this channel, and coincidentally I release one component on my Livewire kit every week, so on this livewirekit.com. It's 31st component that I will present to you today, and this is about checkboxes with parent and child relationship. So you can fill in the form with something like this. In this example, you want to save some kind of a subscription with a lot of topics inside, and those topics are divided into groups. So in this case, for example, if we refresh the page, you want to add some subscription name, and then you can choose the topics. You can choose them one by one, like this, for example, and save. And the database will save exactly those topic IDs, or you can save all of them, all of one group. So on checking off the parent, all the children will be checked, and also in the save, they will be listed as children. So how does it work in Livewire? Let's take a look at the code. In the main blade, you have Livewire component loaded like this, and also important part, we also load Alpine.js for that component of dropdown for this one, and it works in a checkbox blade if you open that up. At first you have a typical form with wire model name and stuff like that, but then it gets more interesting. It's quite a big structure with Alpine.js on how to show that dropdown. So there is xdata show false, and on click of the button, so on click of this one, we have toggling the show, so it's showing or hiding, and then that div of checkboxes has xShow with show true or false. If you are not familiar with Alpine.js or with those transitions, by the way, Alpine.js is from the same author as Laravel Livewire. I have a few videos about Alpine and I will link them in the description of this video below. Now let's get to the checkboxes. But first, in the database, let's take a look how it looks from a database level. So there's a table called topics to choose from, and there's parent or not parent, which is topic ID null or some other topic. Then there is a table subscriptions, which is just the name of the subscription. And then there's a pivot table, many-to-many relationship with subscription and topic. So on saving of the data, we actually save only the topics, the subtopics. We don't save those parents, these ones. So backend and frontend are not actually saved in the database. Those are just frontend things to make those automatically checked. So for each of the child checkbox, we have just wire model selected, and selected is an array. In the blade component on top, we have selected as array by default, and then whenever you tick or untick some checkbox, it just saves the ID. That's it. Much more interesting thing happens when you click some parent checkbox, which is wire modeled to select group, which is also an array, but with items of topic ID. So select group dot topic. And it has value of the topic ID. And look what happens in the method called updated. So on update of any property, we actually check if the key has dot and first part before the dot is called select group. Then we add another check of is numeric value, which is basically not empty, which means checked. And then there are two sentences which look like kind of a magic, but it does work. Me and my colleague Nereus, we created that component together. We were debugging a lot of different options on how to make those arrays and collections transformable in the right way. So this is what we came up with. We get the topic IDs of that category, of that parent, and then we transform them into the array, an array of strings, which is important. Without string, it didn't work. And then we transform this selected into, first we merge the existing selected with the topic IDs of those selected group, of that selected group. So we merge those. Then we have array unique. So we get rid of the repeating values. So for example, if you have already like this, and if you uncheck or check, no, actually this one. So you have one value and then you check all of those, that should be excluded. So it should be unique. And then we transform them into array of values to get back to the original array of indexed by 0, 1, 2, and so on. And similar magic is if you uncheck, we get the topic IDs, and then we do the array diff. So from this selected, we take away all the topic IDs that were mentioned, and we do the array merge again. These are pretty complex one-liners with collections and array operations, but this is what we came up with. You can debug it, you can trace it, and you can try to do it in a simpler way maybe. If you have any more simple solution that works, you can open up a GitHub repository issue or pull request with your comment, or just comment below this YouTube video, but this is our solution. And then saving the subscription is pretty easy. We just create the subscription eloquent model and attach the topics with many-to-many relationship with belongs to many eloquent method. So this becomes a 31st component on my Livewire kit. If we scroll down to the very bottom, we have multi-level checkbox form. And to get all of those components, there's one-time payment price of $29. So it's not a subscription, it's one-time payment, and you get the access to all 31 components on GitHub. So you get GitHub access, GitHub invitation. Also, you get the link to download those components. And on that GitHub, I will put more components in the future, and you won't have to pay for them additionally. So it's one-time payment. So you can go to livewirekit.com, browse the existing components, and if you see something missing, you can shoot in the comments below any ideas of what components should I create more, and generally what questions you have about Livewire, because I've worked with Livewire quite a lot this year, so I can maybe answer something or comment something. And that's it for this time. See you guys in other videos.